The questions I think that are most interesting to me are trying to understand the birth of planets. So where do planets come from? And I think that we're on the verge of gaining a fairly, I think, important understanding of the birth of planets, because we're investigating and beginning to investigate in detail and study in detail regions of around stars, disks around stars, where planets are beginning to coalesce out of the material from these disks. Right now, the big obstacles that we have are having a large enough telescope and a sensitive enough instrument to actually be able to go in and look at the details of the planet formation. CanariCam is that instrument. It's a first very important step, and the GTC is the telescope. And so these, we hope, will move us to a new plateau of understanding of planet formation. There are many other, a broad range of problems that a lot of astronomers are very interested in using CanariCam for. Among these are trying to understand the central regions of galaxies and massive black holes, and how those galaxies and black holes actually evolve with time. Material swirls into the black hole. And so there are a lot of interesting phenomena that take place when you have a supermassive black hole in the center of galaxies. We're dreaming already, now that we have a 10-meter telescope, we're dreaming already of the next generation of telescopes and the instruments that will be on those telescopes. And we're training the students, the generation of students who will be the astronomers who ultimately will use those. So I think that the kinds of questions that we're asking ourselves are, well, first of all, when we go from a 10-meter telescope to a 30 or 40 or 50-meter or even a 100-meter telescope, what kinds of instruments should we have? Should they just be bigger versions of the same kind of instruments that we have now? So what's next depends upon what the conclusions that I come to about what is best for a 100-meter telescope, but also what conclusions I come to based on the results of the next few years on the GTC. So ultimately, it's the scientific questions that drive those decisions. One important area, of course, that is in development but will not be part of the first generation of instrumentation is adaptive optics. So it's extremely important that the second generation of instrumentation that instrumentation be built around the concept of an adaptive optics telescope, which will take full advantage, much, much better than the first generation, of the large aperture that the telescope has. Well, if I had a time machine and I could go forward or backwards in time one time, I'd go back in time. And I'd go back not to the Big Bang, but I'd go back maybe 5 billion years to a time just before the formation of our solar system. And I'd watch our solar system form, and I'd watch the disk of material coagulate into planets, to coalesce into planets, and watch planets move in and out and follow the ballet of the planets as the system formed. And I think that would be really not only intriguing and beautiful, but it would be extremely exciting. And it would tell us a lot about how planets form in general, but more importantly about our home Earth.